story began with a reaffirmation of the Monkey Messiah's life. He gave credit to the deities who haunted over him and all their twisted likenesses to humanity. He then showed every branch which was behind every leaf that the sun warmed with gratitude. The Monkey Messiah left behind the spirit, became the flesh, and spoke. I was not always the primate you see before you. I was more like the rest of us now, less than human. I guess it took the wolf to scare me through that door where I gave all the way to fate, just so I could say that it was what I was supposed to let happen to me. The Monkey Messiah gleamed with religious sarcasm, became an old satyr. Let us give thanks to the Occupy Incorporated and our feast-hungry noble family puppets who both rule our world from high Earth orbits. Let us give thanks to steel insects they thresh humanity with. Without even a thought to the retribution they helped sow into the earth they lord over with their eightfold eyes. We live in a two-moon era. Saris, the season bringer, is a welcome reminder that the Phantarum of tyranny is doomed. We now have a mutant empress who sits in ritual subjugation. She sits in nothing more than a kitchen chair. After much ado, the Monkey Messiah explained his origins. They were incredible. For his earlier life could have been more different than the one he lived that Montana instant. It began in the reformed United States of America, rebuilt on some of the guidelines of the original Federal Union. It had been recreated by the Great Amish Awakening, following the failing of failings, with some major differences. The constitution of the government was not based upon democracy. It was based upon communism. The Monkey Messiah went on to explain that his prior life had been spent in the Amish homeland of Ohio, one of the Soviet states of the USA. He had served in the army of a political scion named Robert Paul Luke, the young ducal estate marshal of a powerful real estate thief that had become embroiled in a power struggle. Robert Paul Luke's greatest accomplishment in the Amish homeland of Ohio had been the creation of the Twin Towers, a symbol of the ingenuity of the rural people and his real estate thief. The Twin Towers then became the seat of the High Estates General, and whoever controlled the Real Estate Feudal Council named the attendants of taxation for all of the estates. The Monkey Messiah's memories of ducal sire Robert Paul Luke became important here. No one person more embodied the dark age of the planet Earth than R.P. Luke, the Cobra Warlord. As a conscript in this army, I saw him transform into what is known as today, the Cobra Warlord. I can guarantee he is still the destructive young boy he was when I lived in his estate, cruelly born to be the vengeful spirit in the countryside, and his battle with the forces of the spoilage. Messiah retold his life as a conscript in the citizen army of ducal sire R.P. Luke. This was a time when R.P. Luke had been ousted from the High Estates General and the Twin Towers by a more powerful real estate thief, instrumental in the popularity of American revivalism and the return to the suburban frontier days of old. takeover had resulted in the real estate privilege to live in the glamour of quasi-classic America, recreated in the Twin Towers, complete with power steering and full reclining seats. The Monkey Messiah returned with a voice of urgency to his story. As a conscript in R.P. Luke's army on the real estate enemy border, a new world dropped into our laps. We watched in awe as surface-to-air missiles were fired from the feudal mansion of R.P. Luke. It took a minute for the explosions to be heard, due to the miles-high elevation that the missiles had flown to hit their target. We strained our eyes to the sky, and seconds later we saw a parachute. Upon closer observation, we saw there was an escape capsule attached to the end of it. We knew full well what it was. The Cobra warlord had shot down a spacecraft as it had been trying to illegally land on the planet Earth. The next part of the Monkey Messiah's tale was incredible. The garrison of conscripts that he had been stationed with ran over to the escape capsule when it landed nearby. Inside, they found a sole astronaut still alive, but barely. She was Asian, which meant she was from the outer planets, the home to the expansion of civilization into the solar system, ever since the closing days of the Great Partition. She was barely alive, and there was nothing they could do to save her. But as the Monkey Messiah next explained, the astronaut had not wanted to be saved. She told us that she'd already been saved. How? It had to do with the story she told us of her life, lived in the heavens on worlds unlike our own, where human civilization had taken great risk in its own evolution. The Monkey Messiah to be told a story heard from someone not born into the civilization's predicament. The tale of the astronaut fell to Earth becomes symbolic of the death of global humanity and the schism between societies that resulted from the Asian-led exodus into outer space. Eastern civilization followed the path of other pariahs that attempted to make a utopia in outer space. The stars in the night for those on Earth became the places of the day for those in space. What the Earth lost because of the Exodus, the worlds of outer space gained. And where villains had rose on the Earth, heroes had triumphed on 100 new worlds. What the nations of Asia had built in their exile from the Earth was not wasted. The astronaut who fell to Earth had brought them back in a lesson that could never be forgotten.